everyone, welcome back. Last video we talked about how it's possible for God to communicate with us through visions. Now remember, a vision is God communicating with us through something that we see. God communicates to us in lots of different ways. Well, He's also designed each of us as individual human beings. He's even given us unique learning styles. Some people learn kinetically by doing stuff, and some people learn visually by seeing something like a video. Some people learn verbally by reading words. There's lots of different ways that people learn. Now typically, people learn in all of those learning styles, but they have one style that is their strongest and the way they learn the best and the most frequently. Same thing with communication from God. I know for my mom, she has dreams from God. For me, the number one way that I experience God communicating with me is through that still small voice inside my heart and thoughts. That does not mean that I haven't experienced the other ways as well. So don't write anything off. Don't say, oh, God only talks to me through His Word, so I'm not going to even try to listen for His voice. No, we want to experience God communicating with us through every avenue possible. Remember, in Acts 2, Peter affirmed everything that I'm saying, that the Holy Spirit was going to move in believers' lives, in men and women alike. And he said that we were going to see visions, we were going to dream dreams, there was going to be words of prophecy, there were going to be signs and wonders, and that God was going to communicate with us in so many different formats. So be looking for that. Now, like I said, I experienced God communicating with me mostly through that still small voice in my heart and in my thoughts. But I have had some visions from God. And I wanted to share an example of that today to kind of help you and give you an idea of what that's like. Now, the first time I had a vision from God, I was 19 years old. And I was sitting in my room and I began to see something with the eyes of who I am on the inside. I just began to see this sequence of pictures, right? But I wasn't even classifying it as, oh, this is a vision from God. I was just seeing something and hearing that still small voice of God speaking to me as I was seeing this picture. At that point in my life, I was really dealing with how in love I was with my future husband, Paul. Now, I did not know he was going to be my future husband. In fact, I was like, oh, I'm so in love with him and I don't know if he'll ever like me. I remember God asking me, Anna, are you holding on too tightly to your desire to be with Paul? And then I began to see this picture inside my mind's eye. I saw one of my childhood toys, my orange beach toy. It was this sand sieve that you could sieve the sand and the rocks and sticks in the sand would stay in the sieve and then all the sand would fall back down and you could make a really nice sand castle. And I remember seeing these hands come down and they were like very fatherly hands and they were holding this sieve. And I remember hearing God speak to me as I'm seeing this inside my mind's eye, and I see my hands, and my hands are holding onto something very tightly, and they're over my heart. They're clutching something. And I remember hearing God say in this vision, Anna, give me the desires of your heart. So I take my hands and I drop what I'm holding into this orange sand sieve. And it's a mixture of things. It's some little gemstones and jewels, and there's some little rocks and rubble and sticks. And all of this stuff falls on the sand sieve. And then these hands begin shaking the sand sieve, and my hands are like this. They're outstretched before God, and I'm just telling God I love Him. And as the sand sieve began to be shaken by those hands, the jewels and gemstones fell back into my outstretched hands, and the rocks and rubble and sticks were tossed over the shoulder of the person holding the sand sieve. Now, right there in that moment, I didn't think, oh, I am having a vision from the Lord. I just thought, whoa, that was a really cool picture. And in that moment, I heard God speak to me and say, Anna, trust me. Give me the desires of your heart, and I will sift them for you. And the right desires are going to fall right back into your life, and you can put them back in your heart. And the wrong desires are going to be pitched out. They're going to be thrown away. Don't be afraid, Anna, but surrender everything you want and everything of who you are to me. What a cool picture. That vision, that picture from God to me has stuck with me throughout the years of my life. I have shared that with so many people to encourage them that when they want something so desperately and they're not sure if it's going to work out, really, the ultimate thing to do at that point in your life is to give it to God. He's going to sift out your desires. He's going to give you the desires of your heart if you'll surrender to Him. And He is going to make sure that the most precious and good and right and true desires are the ones that end up back in your heart, and that the wrong desires, the desires that don't need to be in your life, are thrown out. God is so cool and so creative, and He wants to do the same thing in your life. It's not going to be an eerie, mystical experience with smoke coming out from underneath your bed. It's just going to be you sitting there and talking with God and being willing to hear what He has to say. Be looking for God to speak to you through visions, through dreams, through His still small voice. God is going to communicate with you, like I say every single time, because He wants to build a relationship with you. Okay, if this video helped you out, be sure to give it a big thumbs up below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for supporting me and watching my videos and sharing them. You guys are awesome. You rock. I will see you guys next week on Thursday. Have a great rest of your weekend and into next week, and I will see you then. Okay, bye. Head. Well, it's the same thing with seeing things from God, with having a vision. It's not that you're seeing it typically with your physical eye.